I'm going to read a prepared statement, and then after that I'll be willing to take a few questions. After extensive consideration and public input, I've decided to go back out in the search for a new police chief for the city of Wichita. As you know, we had 2 finalists for the position. Based on his ideas for the department and employee and community feedback, I offered the position to Mr. Joel Fitzgerald. However, during our recent conversations, Mr. Fitzgerald expressed a stronger commitment to the Fort Worth search process than he did to the city of Wichita position. For that reason, he declined my employment offer. As you know, I expect a strong commitment from everyone who works for the city of Wichita, and in this particular position, strong commitment is necessary for that person to build trust and develop partnerships in the community. While I respect and applaud the many years of service Terry Moses has dedicated to law enforcement and to this community, I don't believe her skill set matches what we need in Wichita at this time. During the past few weeks, it has become clear that we have a need for someone who brings a new and different perspective to this position. While this sentiment was apparent in the assessment process that we conducted, it became even more apparent during the engagement process. I firmly believe that we need new eyes and a fresh outlook for the department, its policies, and procedures. Consequently, I've contacted the consultant and requested that our search be reopened. I have asked that this process be accelerated and that the consultants be aggressive in their recruitment efforts. I'm committed to finding the right person for this job, and I'm confident that I will do so. With that, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
How much is this going to cost to reopen this again? What's the cost for that consulting?
Consultant has an obligation under the contract to continue to do work until we have a successful candidate.
What was the original amount?
I'm sorry, Craig, I don't remember the exact amount.
Do you have a ballpark?
Ballpark.
More than $1, but that's honestly I can't remember the exact dollar amount.
Bob, how are you feeling about all of this?
Well, I'm disappointed. Yeah, I'm disappointed. We've been through a long process. It's been about a year, as you know, for us to go through the assessment process, to determine a blueprint for the department to go forward. And then we narrowed down the candidates. We went through a very deliberate process, including public feedback and input. And to get to this point and not have a final candidate is disappointing.
Joel Fitzgerald said in front of everyone that he would take this job if it was offered. Were you really surprised when he came out and said he was more interested in the other position?
I don't know about surprised. I'd say I was disappointed. We had numerous conversations, and as the conversations went on and the Fort Worth process went on, it became apparent that his commitment was greater to that than here.
Did he accept the job there? Has he been offered the job?
Not to my knowledge, but again, I don't know much about the Fort Worth process.
Was there some frustration there that you had a candidate that you offered the job to, and you felt he wasn't committed? Am I reading that wrong?
No, that's correct. Not committed to Wichita at this time.
So Bob, now, and I know you said the search is going to start over, how does that whole process work?
Well, I'll be meeting with, I talked to the consultant late on Friday, on Thursday, excuse me, and I'll have another conversation today, so I can't outline what the process will be. The reason we have a consultant is to be somewhat aggressive in their recruitment process. They'll reach out to folks who are not maybe weren't candidates the first time around, those who have established positions but also meet our profile, and the people that the consultants feel could be successful in implementing the recommendations of the assessment.
Is it possible that somebody from within the department could be picked as chief?
I don't want to preclude that, but I went through this process for a reason, and that is to make sure that I had a clear understanding from employees in the department as well as from the community what they wanted in the next chief. And I was, to be honest with you, Tim, I was surprised at the commonality in the comments that came back, and that is that they want a new perspective. They want a fresh set of eyes. And so for that reason, I think at this point, I believe it'll be someone from the outside.
Speaking as a member of the activist community, I have to say we're all very pleased with your continued dedication to find the right candidate for chief. Do you foresee having more public forums and more public input as this process moves forward?
I know it prolongs the process, and we're all anxious to have someone in the position, but I do believe that before we have a new police chief, that person at least has to be able to meet with the community, answer questions, and make sure that we get I get the same kind of feedback that I received the first time around. Again, I may shorten the process a little bit, and what I'm hoping is that I find one good candidate, one that I feel I'm comfortable with, and then that person will meet with some interview panels. Maybe I'll combine some of those panels again to keep the process moving, and then we'll hopefully have a forum just similar to what we did before.
A two-part question. I wanted to start with.
You only get one. So make it good, which one, Craig?
I'll just make it a really long question. Hey, listen, you said that Terry Moses' skill set perhaps didn't fit your ideals for a chief here. How did she make it to be a finalist then?
When we started the process, I was open in terms of people's background, what they said about the assessment, and so there were many parts of the assessment that she agreed with. But again, Craig, it comes back to maybe not deficiencies as much as that desire on the part of so many people in the community and the department to have a different perspective. And again, Terry coming through the department, there was a concern that maybe she wouldn't be able to do that.
Well, that's my second part then. Does that leave Mosley out of the process this time?
Oh, Chief Mosley?
Yes.
He is not a candidate for the position at this time.
Is Chief Mosley still considered interim?
He is, yes.
Bob, what kind of timeline are we talking about here? Is this gonna take us into next year? Or?
I won't know I hope not. I won't know until after I meet with the consultants again and we map out a time frame.
But you hope to have it done before the end of the year?
Yes, definitely. I keep saying I don't want to rush it, but this is starting to get, pretty long. And I think the community wants a full-time chief, someone that's a strong leader and is able to move us forward.
You mentioned the other candidates that didn't make the cut. Could one of those people be one of those that you reach out to right away?
I don't know that right now. I'll talk to the consultants more about that.
I can't remember, Bob. How many applied?
If I remember, it's just slightly over 30, if I remember correctly. I think we'll just take a couple more questions.
Did the internal review have anything to do with your decision on not picking Moses?
No.
What's the rest of the process then? I mean,
Craig, I'll, as I said before, I won't be able to outline it until after I've talked to consultants, but they'll be out actively recruiting. I'm hoping that within the next month we'll have some names that I can look at and some people I can talk to.
Will the implementation of body cameras be delayed, or is there anything else that can't happen until you have a full-time chief?
No. We're going to continue with body camera implementation. The draft policy is in the hands of some community groups right now to take a look at and give us feedback. I'm hoping to have that finalized very quickly and to move forward with training for our first set of officers that are going to be equipped with cameras. I want to thank you, everybody, and have a great day.